Hey, what's up everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we are doing the what's next on Hector Luis Garcia, the reigning WBA Super Featherweight Champion at 130 pounds. He moved up to lightweight on January 7th and challenged Gervonta Davis for the regular belt at 135 and came up short. Now, I am going to do Garcia's what's next based on him coming back down to 130, because I really don't think he stays at 135 following that loss, especially when he's holding on to a world title right now. Just doesn't make sense. So I'm gonna basically look at his possible options at 130 pounds and go from there. So we'll run through the top 10. Nothing concrete has been mentioned as of yet. So we'll run through the top 10 and see what could possibly be next for Hector Luis Garcia. Now, before that, guys, if you could show me some love, smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Any kind of support, I would really appreciate. I'm just trying to grow my channel, and I would love, I would appreciate the love. But if you don't like what I'm doing, thumbs down, leave a comment, whatever. I want you to be real with me. I don't like it fake. So here we go. We start with for Hector Luis Garcia potential opponents. The newly crowned WBO champion Emmanuel Navarrete, not likely. Garcia's with the PBC. Navarrete is with Top Rank, and I don't think the two sides would come together. Plus, Navarrete's looking at a showdown with Oscar Valdez next, so not likely that we're going to see them crossing the street either side. Then you got Oscar Valdez, the former two-division champ. Not likely here either. Valdez is probably going to fight Navarrete next, and he's a top-ranked guy, where Garcia's PBC. Not likely going to see those two sides getting together. Then you got IBF champion, undefeated Shavkat Rakhimov. I don't think this one's likely either. He's with Matchroom, and even though he's a world champion, he's fighting Joe Cordina next in April. I think he'll win that fight. And second half of the year, I mean, I don't see Matchroom and the PBC coming together to make this fight. It's got to be kind of a high demand, or the fighters really, really got to push for it and get permission to cross the street. And unless, I don't think Al Heyman and I don't think Eddie Hearn are going to want to take the hit on their guy going to the other network to fight. So I'm not seeing it. Robson Consaichel, another one, not likely. Consaicel's with Top Rank. Hector Garcia is with PBC, and it's a risky fight to take on a guy with the style of Consaichel. The PBC wouldn't want to risk losing one of the belts. Then you got Joe Cordina, the undefeated former champ. Well, he's fighting Shavkat Rakhimov next. I personally think he's going to get beat in that fight. And even if he were to win, it's still DAZN and Matchroom against the PBC. And I don't think the two sides will come together to make that fight. Then you got Lamont Roach Jr. To me, this is a very possible opponent for Hector Luis Garcia, because Lamont Roach is the #1 contender right now in the WBA. So the WBA could order Garcia to make a mandatory defense. He hasn't done that yet. He was the mandatory against Roger Gutierrez last year, and he defeated him. And then he moved up. Now, he hasn't had a chance to make an optional defense, so maybe they will allow that. We'll get to that later. But I do think there's a good chance of Garcia and Lamont Roach Jr. Later this year. Then there's Zelfa Barrett, former world title challenger. Zelfa Barrett came up short in his last fight. He lost by knockout to Shavkat Rakhimov. I really don't think, because he's a Matchroom and Eddie Hearn guy, that the two sides would come together to make this fight with both guys coming off of defeats. I'm just not seeing that. Roger Gutierrez, a rematch. Not likely here. He dominated Gutierrez pretty much the first fight. Gutierrez really didn't start fighting until the 7th or 8th round, and he still probably split the rest of the rounds with him. So I don't see this one coming together. There's no sense in a rematch, and I think Gutierrez is with Golden Boy anyway, so they wouldn't work together for an optional fight. Then there's newly crowned WBC champ Shaki Foster. Definitely a possibility there. Depending on where Foster, where he's, what his promotion status is. He just worked with the PBC for the mandatory fight with Vargas, would they come together to make a unification bout next? I don't know. I don't know if they would, because it's not a big money fight. That's why. So they might not. It's up in the air depending on the promotion. So we'd have to see and how bad they want it. I'm sure Foster wants to unify, and I'm sure Hector Luis Garcia wants to shake off a loss, and a unification would be nice. But I don't know if they can come together for that. And then there's Kenichi Ogawa, the former IBF champion. I don't see this one. Ogawa is with Eddie Hearn in Matchroom, and I don't see them coming together for a fight, especially with Ogawa, well, with both guys coming off of losses. And then finally, we have, you know, another option, a couple other options. You got Liam Wilson. He's just coming off a loss. I'm not sure who his promotion is, because that was a mandatory fight with Navarrete. So I'm not sure who his promotion is. If it's a promoter that would work with the PBC, you never know. But I'm not sure, both guys coming off of stoppage losses, if they would want to lock horns next. And then there's Gary Russell, and I'm throwing Gary Russell in there, the former featherweight champ, because he's made it clear that he's moving to 130 now. Now, what does that mean? We don't know whenever the hell he's going to come back, but he is a PBC guy. And the PBC might want to put, you know, a name fighter in there with Hector Luis Garcia, especially a guy that can, you know, draw some people and fans and stuff. And Gary Russell can do that. That's the one thing I'll give him. He can do that, even though he only fights once a year. So we got to wait and see what goes down. For Hector Luis Garcia, I really think the most likely option would potentially be a mandatory defense against Hector Luis Garcia. I mean, against God damn it, I'm drawing a blank. Against it would be against Lamont Roach Jr. I could see that one being maybe the best possibility, because it's a mandatory defense. If they give him an optional defense, I can see him fighting you know, somebody with the PBC, like a Gary Russell or somebody along those lines. But you know, it's just up in the air, and after coming off of a knockout defeat, he might not be so willing to get back in the ring so quick. But I think he should shake it off. He lost to a good fighter in Gervonta Davis, and maybe he can jump back into the mix, you know, at 130 by defending his belt sometime during the summer. So we'll see what happens. But that's it. That's what I got. That's my what's next on reigning WBA Super Featherweight Champion at 130. Jesus, Hector Luis Garcia. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.